There's no place I'd rather be.
I know, and welcome back to a very, very late match day live, and it's me, Adan, back again. And today, well, let's first off, we need to talk about why match day live hasn't been back yet. Well, for the last 2 weeks, I've been kind of busy, and to be honest, I totally forgot about it. And I only just realised that I haven't been doing them. So I was like, oh shit, I better make a video just to talk about, you know, the season, the first 2 games and the season and Man United, and it's, just, you know. So anyway, yeah, so I missed Matchday Live just because I totally forgot about it, but I'm sorry about this, guys. But it will be back. It's coming back, so don't worry about that. So let's talk about the first 2 games, the team and the manager. So let's play match. I'm playing against our recent opponent, Southampton. Obviously, it's on FIFA 16. I've updated the squad as well. So then we've got Bailey, Mkhitaryan, Ibrahimovic, and obviously Pogba. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about their kit numbers and stuff like that. But yeah. So anyway, let's get on. First things first. Let's get on to the manager. Obviously, we fired Louis van Gaal after the FA Cup, which I thought was a bit, well, it was a bit harsh, I think, especially after he got sacked after the FA Cup, which is a bit harsh. But we did get Jose Mourinho. Fast forward 2 months. We signed Eric Bailey. Well, fast forward a couple of weeks, we signed Eric Bailey, and then after that there was speculation about Ibrahimovic, and sure enough, we did buy Ibrahimovic, and what a forward he is become at Man United. But I'll talk about that in a second. Also, obviously, a couple of weeks after that, Jose Mourinho had his first press conference, and after around that time, Mkhitaryan was being linked with Manchester United, and sure enough, we did sign him as well. So that's another good signing, even though he hasn't really actually played yet. But then the big one came, and that was Paul Pogba. And let's talk about Paul Pogba. That's a penalty. How's that not a penalty? Let's talk about Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba, 89 million quid. 89 million quid. He is not worth that. I personally, I know I might get a bit of hate for this, but I don't think he was worth 89 million pound. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe 65 million or 70 million, but 89 million, yeah, it's not worth it. And apparently it could raise up to 100 million or 90 million or something like that. But I mean, it's money worth spent. I do agree, but it's not worth, you know, 89 million. So anyway, let's get on to the first game. First game we played not Southampton. First game we played. Oh, unlucky Fellaini. First game we played against Bournemouth at Bournemouth, and we did win that game 3-1. It was the first game of Jose Mourinho's. Well, actually, our first game was the Community Shield, actually, where we beat Leicester 2-1, which was a very good game. Ibrahimovic got the winner in that game. But it just shown that reality has gone back to normal when, Leicester, they don't look like they're going to win the Premier League this season anyway. Oh, unlucky. And also, pre-season was pretty good. We had a few losses against Borussia Dortmund, but everything else, we played Galatasaray, played pretty well. 0-0 against Everton in the Wayne Rooney testimonial. Yeah, it's pretty. Pre-season was pretty rubbish, I guess. But let's go back to the Bournemouth game. It was an easy. I think it was an easy victory for us. 3-1 in the end. First goal was Juan Mata. I do believe it is a mistake by a Bournemouth defender, and he basically rebounded it off him, and then all Mata had to do was either square it to Ibrahimovic, or score himself, and obviously he scored himself. So there we go, 1-0. 2-0 came when who I do believe it was Rooney. It was a cross from Valencia. Yeah, a cross from Valencia, and then he scored. Cross from Valencia. Martial just put it in. Martial volleyed it on the floor, and it bounced up. And all Rooney had to do was tap it in with his head, and headed it in. So that was 2-0. And then after, just after that, Ibrahimovic pulls out. Ibrahimovic pulls out a goal like that, a P-roller 25-yard goal for his first Man United goal, and what a goal! It's quite a good goal to score. He did score in the pre-season with a bicycle kick, like first 3 or 4 minutes in, but that's his first competitive goal for Man United, first Premier League goal, which was pretty good. And then just to put salt in the wound, we did concede. But their goal, I think it was, I can't remember what Bournemouth player it was, but it was quite a good goal for them. So that finished 3-1, and we finished the Premier League, finished top, obviously, because we had the best goal difference or something like that, but we won't talk about the league table anyway. And yeah, so we won that game 3-1 easily for us. So then going into the Southampton game, which very fortunately enough, I did go to the first game, and what an atmosphere it was. I think I was a bit worried just because Southampton, they do look pretty good under their new manager, and he just looks really good. I don't know, they look good this season, Southampton. So although, they didn't look good against Man United, obviously, because we won 2-0 in the end with 2 Ibrahimovic goals. But it was quite a good game. Oh my God, I haven't actually talked about Eric Bailly yet. What a signing Eric Bailly is! What a signing he is! I know. First off, I was like, I bet he doesn't play. I bet he doesn't, play with Smalling, or Jose Mourinho will pick Blint over Eric Bailly. But actually, Eric Bailly has done pretty well. He's got 2 man of the matches in his first 3 United games. He's got man of the match for the Community Shield, and then for the first game of the season against Bournemouth. And he was pretty good, I guess. And his partnership with Blint, I do like that. I very like that. And also, obviously enough, it was Paul Pogba's first home debut, his first re-debut as a Man United player, and he's the midfielder that we've been missing. A hard, good technical, good with skill, good centre midfielder that we needed. And he just proved he wanted to score. I know he did. When I was watching it in the stadium, you could tell that he really wanted to score, but he just dribbled through everyone and made sure, he's basically doing that. How's that not free kick? Yeah, he was just dribbling around everyone. He was out strengthening players. He was just unbelievable. Mkhitaryan, he hasn't actually really played yet. He played in pre-season, but he hasn't really played yet. Mata's been playing in his position, and I thought Mkhitaryan would start the season with. I thought Mkhitaryan would start the Southampton game, but apparently he's not up to fitness for the Premier League or something like that. But I think that's a load. Oh my God! Why the? Oh, thank God for that. Why the fuck did I just do that? I think Mourinho thought that Matt has played in the Premier League. He's up to state as well, and he's just I would like to see him start, but he's like a number 10, like right winger. Like he's basically the same player as Mata, really. But I think Mkhitaryan is better than Mata personally. But you know, yeah, it's just one of them. It's just another number 10. Well, we kind of didn't really need, but how did we not score with Ibrahimovic there? So let's talk about other players. Let's talk about Luke Shaw. Good to see him back. Blin, yet again, started where he left off. De Gea hasn't done much. Valencia, he's changed so much. It reminds me of like the Valencia what we had. Oh, what a goal from Marouane Fellaini, 2-0. Yeah, Valencia is like a changed person. He reminds me of the Valencia that we bought, running down the line, crossing it in. You know, instead of passing it back like last season, he just like run up there, pass it back, run up there, pass it back. This season, he's actually running and taking defenders on, even though he's a right back. Do you know what I mean? He's like really good. Martial, he hasn't been on the pitch really. Same for Rashford. He hasn't really started that much, just because of Ibrahimovic. And obviously, Fellaini, he's been good. I've actually been surprised about Fellaini. He's like been our like centre defensive midfield rock, and he's just like been good for the last 2 games. So there's the final whistle for this game. We won 2-0. Obviously, same result as the Man United game from the other day. Yeah, so let's finish off by talking about the Southampton game. We won 2-0. Obviously, through Ibrahimovic, a good cross from Rooney, and then Ibrahimovic with a bullet header, and that scores 1-0. And then just after half-time, Luke Shaw went down Luke Shaw got tripped in the penalty area, definite penalty, and we won. Ibrahimovic got the ball, scored a penalty, and won 2-0. After that, the game was pretty poor, but we did win the match 2-0 in the end. It was a good result for us, and we got 6 points, 2 wins out of 2, and it looks pretty good for the future. Hopefully, my predictions for the Premier League season, if we do make any more signings, I doubt we will, but if we do make any more signings, I wouldn't be surprised. But apparently there's loads of players going out. Obviously, Januzaj left on loan for Sunderland. A couple of players also left for Sunderland. There's talk of Bastian Schweinsteiger being transfer listed and stuff like that, which I think is a poor decision. I think we should keep Schweinsteiger, but it's up to Mourinho, innit? So, yeah, so I hope this episode of Matchday Live will be good enough to supply you up to date. Just to bring you up to date with Man United and my thoughts on Man United and stuff like that. So, obviously, Matchday Live will be back I'm going to say every Friday, just before the games start on the weekend, obviously. And yeah, so I'm actually going to end it here. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. So right, I'm going. Bye.